All right, hey guys, so I'm working on the first half of March. I've got my planner here so I can see what bills are coming out when. I do have a book here that's hiding some personal things, like people's addresses that I have to send things to. So that is being covered up. And then I've got my good old handy dandy notebook here, just trying to figure this out. So I guess I work a little backwards because I know people start with their income and then subtract from there. I like to put all my must pay stuff here and then I figure out how much I need to work in order to cover it. So, most of these things come out of my teaching paycheck, and then I get my Pizza Hut paycheck, which is never very much, and then I make my tips on the weekends as well. So these bills have to get paid. So car payment $144.75, a line $169.75. This is a personal loan. Perkins is a student loan, $50.39. Our cell phones got to get paid $200.21. Ulta is $63, Firestone is $38, Hulu is $6.30, Gym is $27.99, Capital One is $94, Maurice's is $27. My husband says we need about $200 to make our rent for next month. And I did pick up an extra shift at Pizza Hut too. I actually picked up 2 extra shifts. So I'm working Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I should be able to make that happen. So total to make our to make my bills is $1,021.39. Now I should kind of paramount this by saying, not paramount, that's such a weird word. Why did I say that? Preface, yeah. I should just add that my husband usually covers the rent, the groceries, and pays our internet. I pay our cell phone, and then I also take care of our electric bill, our gas, and our car insurance. And he usually pays for groceries as well. So I just wanted to kind of throw that tidbit in there. So this first half of the month, I'm mostly worrying about this and then gas as well. So total bills, $1,021.39. Now, my paychecks, I get paid from teaching, and I get the same amount every month, every paycheck. That's the great thing about being salary, is $985, and then some change. The change does come to vary sometimes. I just work off $985. I like it. It's consistent. I know what to expect. Pizza Hut. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. So normally we get paid every other Monday, and I've already got it listed, boom, boom, boom here. But for some unknown reason, I've talked to my manager. He doesn't know what's going on. He's called the proper authorities. They don't know why. But we have been getting paid irregularly. So even though we're supposed to be paid on the 2nd, it might go in the Friday before, and it's made budgeting really, really hard. And I know that it shouldn't, but when you expect money to be in there a different day and it hits the bank a different day, it just for some reason, it just screws with me mentally. I don't know why. Like, the bills still get paid, but it just mentally screws with me. So anyway, well, too, like, I know if some of you work on a monthly basis, I work by paycheck, so it doesn't even matter. I don't even factor in my Pizza Hut paychecks, really. If you get the money, a week before the month starts, that might kind of screw with you a little bit. But it just makes it so I never know if I'm going to get paid this day or the day before. Therefore, it makes the other paychecks off, and it's just, I don't know what's going on. It's been doing it all year. Anyway, I did take a weekend off, but I also was picking up shifts before my week off, so I'm expecting at least 100. Okay, so that puts me at 1,080. Oh gosh, math. No, 1,100. Just pull the calculator up. Just pull the calculator up. You know you can't math. Can any of you math? You're probably sitting here going, Jess, it's this number. But I'm not a good mather, and that makes me glad I teach first graders, because all I have to worry about is teaching them, 2 plus 2. I don't have to teach them, Oh my gosh, Jess, you're a moron. I didn't even pull up the calculator. I just realized. For some reason, I was trying to add this to this, and don't ask. Do not ask. It will be 1,085. Oh my gosh. Wow, Jess. Okay. Moving on. So that leaves me with about 60 some odd dollars left here. I'm also going to probably make some tips from the weekend. Yeah, so I'll probably make about $200 in tips this weekend. I'm not going to factor my tips in because it's just so hard. You never know. It could be a really slow day. It could be a really great fast day with a lot of deliveries and people who are tipping well. So I try not to budget my tips in, if that makes any sense. If you guys work in, the food industry, if you're a server, a delivery driver, what else banks on tips? I don't even know. If you're a bartender, tips could vary. Super Bowl Sunday, I left with $150 and I only worked 4 hours. Some Saturdays I could work 12 hours and walk away with 60. You just never know. So I'm just going to say that I'm going to put gas at $60 and we'll go from there. That is my whole budget for this month, or for this first half of the month. Guess looking ahead, I have spring break this week. So I have already talked to my manager and he's probably going to have me working full time at that week. So I will probably, I'm not going to make a lot of tips because it's dead during the week, but my paycheck will be a little bit bigger. Not this paycheck, but the week after it. So yeah. See, that's, whoa, I'm throwing my pen here. Plain and simple, that's what I'm working with. Fortunate that my husband covers the groceries and the rest of it. But I will try to cover my gas. Now, I know we have separate finances, you might ask. Yes, my husband and I kind of do have separate finances in that his paychecks go into his bank account, mine go into my bank account. I cover all my, my debts, which take up a good majority of my checks. I pitch in with rent where I can. He covers the food. But that being said, when he can't make rent, he tells me, hey, I can't, can you come up with it? Or if I'm like, hey, I don't have enough to cover the cell phone bill, he'll cover it. It's always, the bills get paid, and that's what really matters. What else did I want to include with that one? Now, 2 years ago, this was a very different story. When I was working in the public school and making double my salary, where I was making, $2,000 each paycheck, and he was making like $600 a paycheck because he had child support coming out of two things of child support coming out of his paychecks that equaled about $1,000 a month. It was a very different story. I paid for pretty much everything, and then he made sure he had gas in his gas tank, because that's basically all that was left when his paychecks were garnished like that. So, it's great to combine finances if you need to. If that's something you and your significant other is comfortable with when you're married, do it. But if you have a system that works for you, that's great. His parents are kind of the same way, that as long as bills get paid, it doesn't matter, but they have their separate bank accounts. I was raised watching my grandparents, because my parents were divorced. My grandparents, everything went into one bank account, and it was, yours, mine, and ours. That's just, it doesn't work for me and my husband that way. It's just not how we've done it, and right now this is how we're comfortable. So if you've ever had any other question, if you've ever wondered about that or had questions about how that worked, that's how it works. I've definitely have gone to him and said, hey, can I bum $40 for gas? Because, I have a SUV and it takes a little bit more. Sometimes he needs gas money. It's give and take, just like marriage. This is what works for us. So I just rambled on for 2 minutes about our household finances, but this is a finance channel. So here you go. Yeah, so this is what our month's looking like. Yeah, this is hopefully what's gonna happen is I make a little bit extra and can pad our emergency fund a little bit because I would like to do that a little bit. So thank you guys so much for watching this budget. I will hopefully, what I want to do is do a check-in on the 14th when I'm squaring it up, making sure everything is covered. And then I will have my second half of the month budget for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all very soon. Bye!